What's up, gang? Happy New Year! 2022 is coming with a bang, man. Wow. We're here. It is the new year. What a serious past 2 years we have had. No predictions on 2022, man. No predictions on 2022. Um, I'm going to go dark when it comes to talking about what I'm going to achieve in 2022. Just stand by, guys, stand by, and whatever comes, comes, man, and you'll see it. So it is time to hustle hard, work smart, do what you have to do, make it happen in your life, man. But anyway, man, just thinking back, man, 2021, as everybody thought that they were going to be coming out of 2021 truly dominating their lives, and it didn't happen for a lot of people. It didn't happen for a lot of people. And so it's a lot of people's turning around and you're beating themselves up for not dedicating themselves to 12 months of deep work, and that sometimes that's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. You got to do some deep work. You got to do some deep work. So we're going to be getting into today's podcast. We're going to be getting into today's podcast. Make sure you guys, as you guys always hear me screaming and yelling, man, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life, second edition. Make sure you pick yourself up a copy of this. 10,000 copies we're going to be giving away, and I'm going to be doing a podcast every single day in 2022, right? Every single day. This is episode 206, so I'm just adding on to episode after episode, but every single day in 2022 I will be doing a podcast. No matter how hard I work, no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing, I may be doing some podcasts on the road, driving, in my vehicle, whatever's going to happen. Every day in 2022, I'm going to give you some type of value that you guys can take away and use it and shape and mold your life to the life that you want, right? Because that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's about shaping and molding your life to the life that you want. And the reason why I do my podcast, guys, and for all of you guys who are just checking me out for the first time, it is because life is hard. Life is hard, man. Life is hard, and there's so many people out there giving you opinions on things that have worked for them, that they've done, and so at the end of the day, they just want something from you. And me, guys, I don't want nothing from you. I don't want nothing from you other than somebody to say, hey, listen, that feels really good what you said, and I used it in my life and it worked out well. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. So that's what I do, man. I do my podcast every day and hoping that somebody will benefit from the message. If one person benefits from my message, it is worth its weight in gold. So remember that, man. Remember that when it comes to giving out your messages. Okay? So anyway, in 2020, right? All the things that you said you were going to do in 2021, that didn't happen. It's over with. It's in the past. My last few podcasts of 2021, we were talking about understanding and mastering the 24-hour day. What are you doing in 24 hours? How are you being efficient as possible? And if you're not being efficient as possible, admit it to yourself, man. Admit it to yourself that you haven't done what it takes to get things done in your life. Just admit it to yourself. And then move forward with that. Because if you continue to beat around the bush and kind of give yourself a bunch of concessions, you're going to spend 2022 the same way you did 2021. Doing just enough to feel good, but not enough to get ahead. And so I don't want you guys to do that. And so today's podcast, we're starting off 2022 with today's question, man. Today's question is this, man, and I think it's powerful. So you guys tell me how powerful it is down in the comments, right? And today's question is, why have you resigned to accepting the roles that society has placed upon you. Society's placed a role upon you, guys, right? And you're sitting there and you accepted it in 2022, right? You accepted it in 2022 and you took all of the excuses that everybody else used, use them for yourself, right? Oh my God, COVID was so bad in 2021 and 2020, so I couldn't get done the business that I wanted, or live the life that I wanted, or start the podcast that I wanted, or all of the things that you could not do, right? Based on the excuses that somebody else gave you to use for yourself, right? That is not acceptable anymore, man. Those 24 hours are gone. This is a new 24 hours. Start today. Start today. Make it happen today. Change your life today, right? Okay, by not accepting the roles that society has placed upon you. Now, listen, guys. As a creature, right, human being who survives, we survive, right? We survive on our ability to be social with each other, right? To be social. And so because we survive on that, it is only right that we spend most of our lives, right? We spend most of our lives judging others as well as being judged by others. This is our condition as human beings. We judge each other. Now, I know right now some of you are saying, probably got your little Bible out, ripped open the Old Testament, and you're telling me, hey, listen, do not judge, lest thee be judged, right? And that is the statement that they say from the Bible. And I'm going to say this, guys. I'm going to say this, right? There are so many sayings, right? There's so many sayings that sound good, sound like the right thing to do in theory. But guys, judging each other has been woven into our ancestral brains, man, as a survival mechanism. Now, back then, right? Back then in the ancestral days, right? If you hung around the wrong crowd of people, if you hang around the wrong group of individuals, right? You could wind up being, right, the main dish, okay, instead of the chef. If you guys understand what I'm saying, right? You can wind up being the hunted instead of the hunter if you hang around the wrong group of people. So yeah, you needed to judge people based on their ability to hunt, right? Their ability to survive, their ability to eat, right? That was what you had to do, right? So it is ingrained into us as a survival mechanism to be able to judge people around us. Instantly pick it up, right? Danger, no danger. Because that's what it all comes down to, right? Somebody is dangerous and somebody is not dangerous. We're going to get into that for a minute, right? And the reason why I say this to you, right, is because I don't want you to accept the role that society has placed upon you. And that is why I'm telling you this, because society is going to judge you. And they're going to try to place you in a category, right? They're going to try to place you in a category that makes them feel good. All right? And you can't live the life that you want. You can't fully express who you are if you allow that to happen, man. And I'll tell you guys this, right? In the last 10 years alone, right, the world has changed so dramatically, right, that if I would have accepted the roles that society placed on me as a law enforcement officer, okay, not only would I be behind the times, right? Not only would I be behind the times, but more than likely, guys, I will be facing public scrutiny, right, for not adapting to the changing times, right? Because as we see right now in society, it is a camera everywhere judging everything that you do. And things that were legal 10 years ago are illegal now, right? And rightfully so. right? But guess what? You have to be adaptable and change, man. You can't just be, this is what we've done in the past. Oh my God, I used to hear that so often. Everybody would always run around not wanting to change because they would say over and over again, this is what we've done for the past 10 years. This is what we've done for the last 30 years, 40 years. And and fight tooth and nail not to change not one bit. No matter how wrong they finally realized that it was, they didn't want to be adaptable. They didn't want to change, right? Dinosaurs, we used to call them, right? They killed by an asteroid, those type of law enforcement officers. So, anyway, um, I learned a long time ago, personally, I learned a long time ago that if you wish to survive in any career you wish to survive, you must be able to recreate yourself. You got to be able to recreate yourself. You may have been the old YOLO, you only live once, right? And then you had to recreate yourself because you realized that we are living a whole lot longer than we used to, and you may have to adapt and become a stoic, okay? And start prepping for the long haul, man. You gotta be able to recreate yourself, right? You must be able, right? You must be able, guys, to create a new identity, okay, when your old one no longer works for you. You gotta be able to do it, okay? You can't just sit there and say to everyone around you, as well as to yourself, that this has worked for me for the last 20 years, man, I'm sticking to it, okay? Especially when it no longer works. Thinking, right, that it's going to come back around again. I've heard so many people, okay, think that their personalities and who they are is like a pair of baggy jeans, right? It worked in the 60s, I'm sure it'll work in 2022. No, it will not, guys. No, it will not. You will become extinct, okay? And society will make sure you become extinct because they thrusted you into that role so they could eliminate you, right? And you accepted that role and you stuck with it, okay? And you made that role a part of who you were. And because it became a part of who you weren't allowed to break free from it, right? Everything that you did was woven into that role, man. And so you got lost in who you were, okay? And now you're not able to recreate yourself, guys. I'm telling you guys that your new identity that you create for yourself should be one that commands attention, right? Some people's like, why should it command attention? Number one, okay, attention is equity. In 2022 and beyond, attention is equity, right? And on top of having attention, you should never, ever be boring your audience. Do not be boring, right? And you may say to me, hey, well, Sound Blue, I don't have a podcast, right? I don't have a YouTube video. I'm not doing all these things. Why do I have to not bore my audience? Okay, listen, man. Boring is death. And I don't care who you are, you always have an audience. I don't care what career you're in, you always have an audience, right? In life, people are always watching you. And nowadays, in 2022, due to the fact that there's a camera on every square inch of the planet, just about, okay? You being boring is you being placed in a certain category where people don't have to worry about you and don't have to deal with you, right? And you will never, ever get the look that you need to get in order to create the life that you want, right? You'll never get that opportunity because of the fact that you were stuck in the person that you were. You didn't want to grow. You didn't want to create yourself. You didn't want to command attention because you were afraid that if you commanded attention, then people would actually see you for who you are. We're going to get by that, man. So just go ahead and command that attention, right? And I'm going to tell you something, right? People will always try to place you in a category that makes them feel comfortable. Okay? It's not going to be what you want. It's a category that makes them feel comfortable. Just think about this for a minute. Think about this for a minute. Right? Barefoot and pregnant. If you're a woman, that should infuriate you right now. Right? Infuriate you right now. Not because it's something wrong with being barefoot and pregnant. No. But that is a stigmatism that people use, that you should be barefoot and pregnant instead of commanding the attention of all your subordinates in a boardroom. That you are not the boss. That you're not calling the shots. Right? Okay, that is the stigmatism that society is trying to place on women. And you can't allow that. You got to be able to recreate yourself, command attention, okay, and get what you want for your life. Not having to rely on anybody else. Not having to rely on anybody else. You know, you should be calling the shots, right? You know, one of the roles that society tried to place on me was I should be a person who was taking orders, not a person who was giving orders or calling the shots. I refused to be that person, okay, and wanted to continually grow so that I was the one giving the orders and not sitting back waiting for somebody else to throw their philosophy and how they felt about how I was doing my job on me, right? So you have to be the one, okay, to take charge, man. Instead of allowing others to dictate the narrative of your life, right? Be the master of your own image. Create the image that you want, the image that works for you, the image that gives you all the advantages. Okay? That is, see, in life, you need advantages. You need the nod. You need the go-ahead. You need things that are going to allow you to get the most, right, out of what you want out of life, to live an extraordinary life, right? To live comfortably, to live a first-class lifestyle. This is what you want, okay? So you have to make sure that you create yourself into the person that deserves that, okay? By creating your own image, right? You have to let your gestures and your actions, right? Your gestures and your actions, the things that you do, right? Create a larger than life character. You know, one that demands attention from everybody around you. That larger than life character, the one that demands attention, is the one that's going to get all the advantages, right? Every other character, every other average, mediocre character is at the bottom of the wealth triangle, man. They're not getting nothing. They're not getting any shakes. They're not getting any looks. They're not getting any chances. Okay, they are getting what is given to them because that is where they were placed by society. And you can't let that be you, man. Not in 2020 you. Don't let that be you in 2022. Okay? Now, believe it or not, right? Believe it or not, guys, this new identity, right, that I'm talking about, that you display, it actually will protect you, right? And the reason why it'll protect you from the world is because it is the face that you choose to show the world. Now, understand this, right? It's the face that you choose to show the world, and because it is the face that you choose to show the world, you can take it off and put it on when you feel like it, right? This is your identity. It is just like the mask that you put on, okay? They don't know the real you. And because they never know the real you, you don't have to sit around fearing, right, that you're going to get some type of attack on your personal character and who you are. They can attack that character all you want. That character is not you. So it's just a face you're putting on. It is like them shooting at a target when you're standing way over here on the other side, man. So understand that and use that as a strength. Use that to your advantage, man. Use that to actually see and set up your enemies, okay, so that you can bypass them and you don't even have to battle them. They're battling facing an image that you showed them way over there. That is how you begin to live your life masterfully, right? And enjoy your life to the fullest by avoiding a lot of conflicts. You avoid so many conflicts, okay, when you start to display, okay, that strong character demanding attention. A lot of people just don't want to come up against you, right? If you do it right. Now, the character that we are born with, guys, a lot of you guys are like, well, that's not me. Well, guess what, man? Guess what? I'm going to tell you something, right? All of you that's saying that's not me, listen to this. The character that you were born with, right? Right? The traits that you got from your parents, inherited from your parents, whatever it is, what race, creed, color, whatever you are, right? All of that, okay? As well as, right, the characteristics and things that you learn from your parents, right? The traits and ways that you learn from your friends and your peers, they are not who you are. They're not who you are, right? What has happened to us is this, man. We have been shaped and molded by our parents, friends, and peers, right? Our entire life, right? How our parents wanted us to act, what our parents wanted us to do, right? You know, what was acceptable to our parents, what was acceptable to our peer group, okay? What was acceptable to our friends. And slowly but surely, through pain and pleasure, they shaped and molded and moved you to become the person that they felt comfortable with in that position, right? This is who you are because this is who we wanted you to be, and now you need to remain here, okay, or we're going to make you feel pain, right? And if you remain here, okay, and don't try to escape, then we will then, okay, give you some form of pleasure, as in being your friend, being nice to you, right? Maybe giving you gifts and stuff like that, okay? That is how people begin to manipulate you, shape you, and mold you your entire life. I want you to step out of that, man. I want you to begin to think on your own, man. Begin to think on your own, right? Your task to think on your own is now, 2022, January 1st, and moving forward, right, is to be powerful and take control of that whole process that everybody else was doing and shaping and molding your life, right? Stop allowing everybody access to your clay, right? If you are shaping and molding a masterful life, stop letting everybody put their hands on your clay. It is your life to mold, not everybody else's. And despite the pain that people are going to come to you, and people are going to try to bring you severe amounts of pain because you're stepping out of the mold that they created, right? That is the mold that they created for you, and you need to be in that place. And so when you step out of that and you go, well, hey, I want to have control of my own life. When you do that, people are going to be so angry with you. People are going to threaten you. Maybe your parents will threaten you by taking away your finances, right? Taking away your phone. I don't know what their parents do these days, man. I make it a point of not doing that to any of my children, by the way. You know, who you are is who you are, right? It is your life. You're not a robot, right? And hopefully I've given you some good values that you can use as a tool in your toolbox to shape and mold the life that you want. That is how I am as a parent, you know, especially now that my children are much older. But anyway, man, people are going to try to force you back into that mold, right? It's almost like the movie The Matrix, right? When they took that red pill, there was no going back, man. And I want you guys to use January 1st to take that red pill and do not go back. Don't go back. Don't go back, man. Don't get plugged back in to allowing people, okay, to shape and mold you into the person that they want you to be just because it's comfortable. being who you are, changing who you are, remaking yourself into a character of power is going to be very painful, guys. It is going to be very uncomfortable, right? There's going to be many steps that you're going to trip and fall and hurt yourself, right? You are going to hurt yourself time and time again trying to figure this all out, guys. But it is going to be your life that you're in control of. Your life. Not anybody else's, your life. And so it is your life to figure out, man. And I tell people all the time, this should not only be a pleasure, right? Even the pain part. Even the pain part, understand me, should be pleasure. So even the pain part of figuring your own life out should be pleasure. But not just a pleasure, this should be your life's mission. Period. No matter what you do in life, figuring your life out, recreating yourself, right? To be a character of power should be your life's mission. Your life's mission. Guys, listen. In order to do this as masterfully as possible, you will need to develop, right? First and foremost, a very strong self-consciousness. Yeah, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to be very, very self-conscious of who you are. You have to be self-conscious of who you are, which means, right, you have to be aware of yourself, right? And you have to take control of your emotions as well as your appearance, right? And this is critical. This is critical. Knowing yourself is probably one of the most important things you will ever do in your life, right? Knowing yourself cuts your timeline for having an extraordinary life exponentially. Exponentially. There is no quantifier, okay, that you can add to knowing yourself and how it benefits your life tremendously. So you have to know yourself, and it starts with having a strong self-consciousness, really, really knowing yourself, right, and taking control of it. Okay. Here's the deal, guys. People who have an extraordinary life, right, an extraordinary life, control themselves. They control themselves, right? And they control themselves far better than people who live an ordinary or mediocre life, right? If you want to have a phenomenal life, if you want to have an extraordinary life, man, you're going to have to begin to control yourself. Control your emotions, control your character and who you are. You're going to have to show people the face that you need to show them when you need to show them. And other people, you're going to need to show them the face that you need to show them when you need to show them. Okay, that means you have to maybe take it off, put it on over here, so on and so forth, man. And that is how you have an extraordinary life, man. Listen, this is 2022 now, right? And this is day one of 2022 of you guys having the greatest, phenomenal, fantastic, extraordinary life possible. So get to work. Get to work, man. Get to work. And I tell people, start by knowing yourself. Start writing down some things to figure out who you are and why you do what you do, okay? And once you get those things on paper, begin to work at them to have a much better life, guys. All right? Listen, that's all I'm going to say for today. I'm going to wrap this podcast up today. I want you guys to make sure you hop on over to lieutenantsoundblue.com and pick up a copy of your book, Top 25 Mistakes in Route to the Good Life. I'm giving away 10,000 copies of my book, so hop on over there and pick it up, 10,000 autographed copies, right? These are going to be rare autographed copies. I'm not giving out any more after that. And also, guys, make sure you pick up some of the extra bonuses that I have over in my website. Tons of extra bonuses at ltsalblue.com. Okay. Also, give me a shout out down below in the comments, as well as hit me up on all the social media platforms and DM me and let me know What would you guys like me to talk about? I have 364 more podcasts for 2022. So shoot me a DM, let me know what you wanted me to talk about, and we will hit those topics, right? And we will hit them hard. I will do some studying, and I will figure out exactly, okay, what to say to help you, to benefit you, so that you can have the best life possible, right? This is Sal Blue. I'm signing off. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, okay, with my daily podcast. Have a great night.